I'm Alex, by the way.
Hey, Alex, I'm Jacob.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, sit in the shade for a while. How's your hike?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Which way did you go?
The W route. This is my first week moving here from Virginia, so it's a nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get my
Finding your good hiking spots?
my daily cardio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came here yesterday for the first time as a hike, actually. But I don't think I know which route is the W. Is that like
W. It's just it's like up there, and then there's an off turn off the main road, and
Okay.
it's nice. It's still like not too challenging, but enough you feel like proud of yourself.
All right. I'm proud of you too, Alex. Way to go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What brings you to LA from Virginia?
I went to school for finance, and I was doing well. I had a job lined up, and I just wasn't super satisfied with it, kind of self-fulfillment wise, and I figured it's never going to be easier to switch than it is when you're still in your 20s, and I got into a pre-med program here, and
Wow.
I'm trying to switch and go to med school, so
So this is a big switch.
yeah. I just, life's too short to not do things that excite you when you wake up, and I got
Wow,
off
man.
track for a bit, and I'm excited to be back.
Okay. Very like carpe diem.
Yeah, you gotta see. There's something I love that I've noticed about LA so far is that it's just when you're in a smaller town, there's less resources. You get kind of stuck into a routine. And here, even if like I had a free hour and 45 between.
Oh, you can put those headphones on, by the way, if you'd like to.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I had a free hour and 45 before I met with a friend, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity on this beautiful day and go on a hike.
Yeah.
And that's not something that less spread out places can do, or more spread out places can do.
Yeah, everything in LA is very kind of all glued on top of each other or beside each other. So there's like, you can do a hike here, and then the Hollywood Walk of Fame is like 5 minutes that way.
Yeah, it was between here and New York City for me that I was deciding, and just the emphasis on nature and kind of outdoor living is what I think definitely steered it for me. Is because New York, you have those kind of resources readily available. You have the same kind of emphasis on culture, but the kind of connection to the outdoors and the ability to kind of get out and decompress is definitely a lot more readily available. And especially just coming off of the wake of the whole as we're entering post-COVID, just kind of getting back in touch with some of the kind of, I guess, things that we see now that are luxuries that we took for granted beforehand.
Totally.
Is something
Coming out here and doing a hike and meeting people.
Yeah.
Did you see those birds that just flew by?
I did. They zoomed right past.
Yeah. I don't know if like the frame rate of the camera even would have caught this.
Yeah. You guys have a really nice setup coming up.
Yeah, cool. Congrats to Reed setting this up here for us today.
Yeah.
So you found street epistemology. This is a growing hobby that talks about people's beliefs. It's sort of a method for discussion. My role is sort of to be a mirror and let you know what I'm hearing, and the topic of discussion is up to you. We emphasize people's beliefs. Sort of metaphysical stuff works best, like you might believe in God or karma. A lot of people talk about COVID vaccines because it's sort of the topic of the hour. And you might have beliefs about guardian angels or aliens living in faraway planets that we don't know about, but you know that they're there. Anything come to mind?
A topic that I like to discuss, that I've discussed a lot recently, and I feel is relevant in kind of the current political context, is just the importance of just making an active effort to understand people with other opinions, because something that I'm noticing is that a lot of people right now make arguments kind of with an idea going into it that there's a binary answer where there's either right or wrong. And something that I feel is very important to just enter any argument is, if there was a clear-cut right or wrong answer, there wouldn't really be an argument. The reason why I think a lot of the topics that we're talking about now that are so hard, like the whole COVID vaccine, the mask deal, a lot of the current executive political issues over the last couple years, is you have people that grew up in different ways, so they grew up with different belief systems, and then when they when they approach topics like this, they're approaching it from different angles. Just any hot button issue, you can, if you just kind of work back and distill and not say, oh, this person thinks this way, but why are they thinking that way? You can kind of have a much more productive conversation. Because I don't want to take this too politically, but I'm very pro. What's a good one? I'm very pro. I'm pro guns rights. I very much support the Second Amendment. But I've had a lot of really good conversations with people that are anti-gun and are pro kind of bolstering laws and restrictions on them, because I looked at it and said, for me, if I was in a dangerous situation and I felt like me and my family was in danger, my reaction would be I would want something to defend myself. But there's other people that, and I personally think that there's no way that we can kind of, the word that I would use in a more aggressive context would be child-proof the world to the point that there would be no dangers. But when, if you were to talk to someone that either one thought that it was possible that we could eliminate those dangers, or wasn't comfortable using those resources for themselves, it would obviously make sense for those restrictions to come place. So you can look and see, neither I'm not right and they're not right, I'm not wrong, they're not wrong. It's just two different point of views and two different personalities leading to two different outcomes. And neither of us changed our opinions, neither of us changed what we believed about, but we at least gained a greater understanding of what the other person's side was. Yeah. And I just feel like kind of conversations like that, which you just really don't hear in any major outlet, and it's very hard because media pushes to much more of a binary analysis of things, because it people like affirmation, but it's just those conversations I think are really necessary to progressing forward. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that there's kind of this problem in the world right now where maybe it's due to the media, or maybe it's the direction we're going in general. People are trying to distill these complicated issues into a binary. And, you know, it gets more clicks on Twitter, it gets more views on the news. But what people are not doing is trying to listen and understand the other person's belief. And it seems like your kind of diagnosis for at least part of the problem is we don't realize we're coming from different worlds when we have these discussions. So my experience with guns, or, you know, like feminism, or a belief in karma, is totally different from the person sitting across from me, their experience. And our experiences form our worldview, and we use that worldview as a lens to see issues like gun control. And we end up just talking past each other and not acknowledging that we come from valid but different perspectives. Yeah, precisely. And that's why I'm a huge believer that just platforms such as this, where it doesn't even have to be hours, but just more than a thumbnail or a soundbite, is incredibly valuable, because you can see a whole point of view. And I'm sure just your audience, by the fact that you tune in or take your time to listen to platforms like this, means that you do have kind of the frame of mind to be able to understand, or the want to understand, trains of thought like that, which is incredibly important. And everyone listening to this platform should congratulate themselves on just kind of making an active effort to kind of have a higher level of thought, because that's really our way forward in any topic, because we're living in a time where problems are much more complex than I mean, most generations say, oh, we have the hardest of any generation, but I think there really are some issues that we're handling today that no other generation has had to deal with things of this kind. So okay, great. I feel like we just laid down a solid, foundation of where you're at and your reasons for thinking this. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, totally. If you have a couple more minutes, sort of the meat of street epistemology is the part where I ask you, besides just like reflecting what you're telling me, I sort of gently challenge your beliefs and try to gauge your confidence and see if your reasons match the confidence that you have. Go for it. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would distill this claim into something like, the world would be better off if we listened and understood each other's differing worldviews instead of clashing in some like binary argument for clicks. Absolutely.
you've got a little confidence scale on the whiteboard right there. And we could say far left would be 0% and then 50 and 100. Could you put your confidence that this is something that the world needs and lacks on a scale from 1 to 100? Okay. Is that a 75?
That is.
Okay. Where does that 25% come from, if I can ask?
It, I feel, is one of those things that are incredibly idealistic. The world isn't. I don't think the world can necessarily support all of what we're talking about, because to be able to connect on a human level and have these kinds of conversations, it takes time that isn't necessarily practical with all topics, and it can absolutely do some good, but it just realistically will never happen to everything. So I guess it's one of those things where if you strive for perfection on it, that realistically is never going to happen. We're always going to have disagreements, and we are in our current system. There's a lot of bureaucracy that just can't be avoided, but it's definitely something that should be strived for. Yeah.
So the 25% is not so much like this isn't what we need, but it might be, something we'll never get because we'll never deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
did this to
rough, and that's
ourselves.
probably true, man. Like, there's a reason that, platforms like Twitter get so big, because they sort of allow people to turn everything into that binary and get those clicks. Well, thank you for taking time from rebuilding your life to sit down and talk about something in a more long form.
Absolutely. If you guys have a URL or a handle or something, you definitely just gained a viewer. So
Okay, is there a card on this little thing right there?
Absolutely.
Might have some links. So we're streaming right now, but the good stuff gets uploaded to Reed's YouTube channel called Cordial Curiosity. And he uploads pretty regularly. He's got a very devoted following. And there's a lot of other YouTubers who do similar types of discussions, and there's a lot of good stuff out there already to get caught up on if you want to.
Awesome. Wow.
And you've earned a little gear plushie thing. You can grab one of those right there, whichever you like.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank
Since
you.
you're in the area, you might see us around here again. You can follow our platforms to find out when we're going to be here. And ideally, you could come back after taking some time to sort of marinate in the discussion and earn another gear to get your gears turning.
Absolutely. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Alex.
Take care.
Oh, it's weird taking these off, isn't it?
It is. I had the one on.
Okay. I'll shake your hand too. Thanks, man. Good luck with everything.